how do we do this on short term, intermediate, and long term. So short term, what we're doing is we're going back to this whole idea of segmentation. Let's just focus on unprofitable products, and we're thinking about tariff strategies now. So, we've got 38% of our products are unprofitable. You've got, $6.5 million of opportunity in just sourcing costs, and you see the rest. For tariffs, we are currently spending $2.2 million in tariffs, but now for those unprofitable products, the tariffs are going to be raised, by whatever percent, just as a scenario. Out of 2.8 million, you got 17 million of opportunity to mitigate those tariffs. So the reality of it is, with the unprofitable products, you got a problem whether you've got tariffs or not. And now, even with tariffs, you can easily overcome the tariff and still, move these products to a more marginal performance at a minimum. But I'm not going to just raise prices on products, which is what everybody's doing. We'll have a general price increase. It makes no sense at all. So now intermediate strategies. So now this is like, what do we do in 6 months? The other one was, what do we do in 6 weeks? You've got this one product, it's unprofitable, it's been unprofitable, having accurate information historically, and now the tariffs are going to increase. And so what are we going to do about that? I can look at 2 sources of the similar T-shirts, move to an alternative supplier. What choices do I have that I can actually perform within 6 months, and then measure the impact on that on a monthly basis? And so that's what we're showing here. So if I do move them to another supplier, where I'm actually got a better set of what we call net landed profit capability, we can see that I would move an unprofitable T-shirt to a marginal at 5.3% profitability. So again, all about that visibility around tariff mitigation, 6 months long. So long term, what we're doing here is we're saying, okay, for tariffs, first thing we're going to do is just understand where all our customers are. The size of the bubble is just the revenue associated with every delivery location. What if I color code it based on profitability? So now I'm saying, well, I've got a lot of large green dots. That means the customer's buying a lot, even with tariffs or, whatever the scenario is. And that's a great thing. But I've got a lot of large red dots, which means they're buying a lot of volume and they're totally unprofitable. So now I say, well, that's really interesting. What if I design my network by just starting, not ending, just starting with what does that network look like just to serve 96% of my profit? And that is because what may surprise you is it's not unusual for us to see that somewhere between 30 and 40% of the operating costs that a company has is going to unprofitable products and customers. But the point is that today we have the ability to be smarter about incremental supply chain designs that factor in later. All right, let's just factor in the marginal customers. How much more cost did that you create? Did it influence where my distribution centers would be placed, et cetera, et cetera? And then finally, what can we do about the unprofitable customers? And, I'd like to move them to at least marginal. In some cases, I've got to have them. I mean, they're just business reasons, but I'm layering in the network and the cost and service levels. So now you can go to the supplier side. And on the supplier side, now we're taking the profitability of every SKU back to the suppliers that are actually making them around the world. Again, finished goods, right? See the guy, the orange dot over there to the middle right. So we say, all right, well, that's a really profitable supplier. I've got a tariff strategy. I need to do something to protect that profit. But what happens if I can show you within that supplier location, one location, and 580 products that they make for us, only 51 of them give me 80% of my profit. Now my tariff mitigation strategy is going to be very different for the 51 versus the 459 versus the 76.